Alright, so I found a way to use Bacchus to host and join custom maps. Easiest way for me to explain this is obviously first step, have BakkesMod. Then go to the official Bacchus plugin and search for Rocket Host. Have the game open with BakkesMod injected, right? And just click this fucking blue button, automatically install to the thing. Then this is the fun part. If you press F2, you get the Bacchus thing. You'll have to open, and it'll probably pop up as something else. On mine, it pops up as Rocket Host itself, server host, DLL. Don't worry about Rocket plugin, it's just something else. But Rocket Host is the one you want. Then you come down here. Also, if you press F6, you access the console for BakkesMod, right? This should automatically update. You don't have to change that at all. Click this little blue button. Go ahead and close this. Now, if you're wanting to join, yours is real simple. You just have to do this. Make sure you have the right map selected, etc. And then active servers will pop up in here. To get maps, you come up into this GUI tab, Rocket League Maps US Downloader. For whatever reason, it doesn't immediately load all of these, so you have to refresh data. Go through, find one that you like. So, for example, we have Lethamir's Portal. You just click download, it'll pop up, tell you where it's installing at, it'll open a command prompt. And now, every time, what I would recommend doing is I would download as many maps as you want that you have the room for, and then as soon as you're done, just close the game and then reopen it. It takes my computer a second. Again, make sure that Bacchus is injected and able to load up. So then now we're back in. F2, open your plugins, go back up to Rocket Host, open GUI, close this. F6 to open your console, just that way you can see when you're doing it. Because a lot of times what happened to me at first was when I was trying to host it, it wouldn't let me. So again, if you're wanting to join, you now go through and we downloaded Lethamir Portal. So it should pop up as Portal 1. Always make sure that this is it, and then refresh, and usually if somebody is hosting one, it'll pop up in here and you can just join. Now, if you're wanting to do the inverse of that and you're wanting to host, you don't actually need to worry about this at all, right? So this is where it gets fun. Now you come here, you hit Portal 1, we set the player count to 2 players. You can change the match length, you can change the match score, you can change all of your mutators right here. Scroll through, there's also like preset ones. There's Ghost Hunt, Moonball, Inverted Ball, which I don't know what Inverted Ball is. You can change all of that. Now, once you get this going, you just click Request Server, and it'll pop up some text here. and then you're just waiting. Go ahead and turn on my controller. And what this will do is it'll host a game through this plugin, and your port will automatically update. You can add a password to it if you want. I usually don't. Because, I mean, most of the time, you should be fine. But now, we're in. Let me get rid of my fucking controller overlay. And again, we set the mutators before we started, so we have unlimited boost and unlimited time. So now, like, our port is 5885. So if someone wanted to join, now they would refresh, and it pops up as 5885. They click that, they click connect, they're in. We can get rid of all of this, auto up. It'll always say there's an extra person in here, it's just how it hosts the server. It doesn't actually count as a person. And now we have Portal. Oh, it's a little buggy. Same thing if you want to change maps. Oh shit, that's just the goal. That's crazy. But if we wanted to change maps, for example, you would just leave, come back in, close this, bring this up here, and again, F6 to open the console, change the map. Let's do, for example, pile of arenas, unlimited time. Your mutator should stay the same. And now we request. You can also host single player and it'll load it locally, but that's its own fucking ordeal. But this is the easiest way I've found to do this, is to just have this console open so you're not spam clicking start thinking that it's being wonky. And it should give you a new port each time you join. So 5885 was our last one, 5886 is our new port. And it'll always update here. So now we have, the deeper you go, the more you score. And again, it should pop up now in this list, 5886, a pile of arenas. The issue comes if you're wanting to join someone, is that you need to make sure you have the same maps downloaded. So like if you download a map, everyone you're wanting to play with has to download the same map. So like we're on floor 3, which gives us 4 points. So now if I were to just dunk this in, I'm just up by 4. And it goes all the way down. And the reason we say unlimited boost is because there are no boost pads usually in these. But you can more or less just fly infinitely. Usually, as far as searching for maps goes, close this, open this back up. refresh data. If there's one that you're wanting to do, for example, let's say you watched a lot of, hypothetically, skee ball. We have Chaos Wizards, we have Lethamir's comically competitive skee ball. We have Rocket Loot Labs Hoop Ski. We just have skee ball. Usually, you'll want to make sure that once you like find a map that you're wanting to do, you want to make sure that you get the name and picture. Usually, this little box here will have like recommended settings for it. Otherwise, just find it. And then at the same time as you're doing this, have whoever you're wanting to do the custom maps with, you want them to also download the same map. And even if you're not hosting, always restart your game after you install the map, because as I found out yesterday while doing some testing with it, is that it will break. Normally there used to be a whole thing where you had to download emoji and everything. One of the people I was testing it with downloaded Hamachi, and for whatever reason, it broke the pathing file for Rocket League itself, so wouldn't do that. I would avoid that. There's Tic-Tac-Toe, there's Multiplayer Mayan. I have no idea what that is, but that picture is great. Connect 4. Propline. Of all the ones we got yesterday. This one's probably the most fun. Again, you open up the console, you're now waiting for it to connect. And now we are port 5890, which means that in the time that I took to go over the basics of this, other people have now started some as well. 5888, 585, that was us, that was also us, new person, that isn't us, and then Minigolf, which is this one. Now, this one has a habit when you load it up that sometimes it'll snap you in and out of the goals. But this one has 8 holes in it, and it'll automatically loop back to number 1 when you're done. And then, yeah, no, you're into custom maps, and it's a lot of fun. I believe I just missed an uncle. Oh, is that still in? Yeah, cool. Also, in its own way, I feel like this will help people with their aerial control, because the maps are just so big that it just doesn't make sense to not. Excuse me. But it doesn't make sense for it to not do the thing. Also, yes, you can fall into the hole. Um, let's say you were wanting to make a bigger lobby, you've got a decent sized group that you're wanting to play with. This can go all the way up to 8 players. You can have 4v4s, or you can have 2v2, 3v3, 4v4. I don't know why we can just have 3 players, or 5 players, or 7 players, but I mean, it goes up to 8. Just a little slider there. Um, and again, if you're wanting to join, so for example, let's say I wanted to join Pile of Arenas, I would now come into here, this little menu on the side, make sure that it's this, and then I should just be able to join back. Again, console will plugin server host is already use plugin reload unload instead, so it won't let me actually join the one that I wanted. I don't think, because I was the host of it originally. But let's say I wanted to join the person that loaded one, I would just make sure that my map was here and updated. I would also update it here just to make sure. It shouldn't impact you joining, but a little finicky. But yeah, that's how you do that, actually. Super, super simple. Again, that was going to the Rocket plugins and finding Rocket host. And then just leaving the game open with Rocket League installed. It'll actually install another one. Well, if you've installed other plugins, it's relatively straightforward. You just, again, click the little blue, and it'll install for you. But you don't want Rocket Host. You want, you don't want Rocket plugin. You want Rocket Host. And it'll be on this link, which I will post as well. Anyways, that's that. I'm gonna close this, get this. It'll say that, but you should still be in game. But yeah, that's that.